Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining in. So excited to see all of you here today. So, we've kept you on mute. So, we have participants and professionals who've joined us on our YouTube channel. And we also have participants joining us on our LinkedIn page. So, we live both on LinkedIn as well as on the YouTube. So, welcome everybody. Pleasure having you all here. My name is Meenu Bhatia, and I'm the co founder of Van Skilling and Advisory and Yugma. You all must have interacted with Yugma in some or the other form. So, Yugma is a platform that provides opportunities to B schools and to corporates to engage with each other in meaningful formats. So do visit our site. You'll get to see what do I mean by meaningful formats out there. Uh, so I'm so excited this week because I'll be actually getting to speak with five amazing women. So when we saw this particular topic, when we saw the hashtag choose to challenge, uh, which was designed for the Women's Week, Women's Day this year, one of the things which came up for us was what do we choose to challenge? What is it that holds meaning for each one of us to be able to challenge? And one thing which I personally believe strongly in, that any transformation outside has to first start from within. So, what is it that we all should choose to challenge within that will help us, face the world better, that will help us face our careers better, face our lives better? And with that objective in mind, we reached out to these five lovely women, and we picked up threads, we picked up areas of our life where we show up, and we decided to evaluate, decided to kind of look at things that we can choose to challenge in each of these areas. So today I have with me lovely Alpa Kapadia Teli. So Alpa is she's the CEO of this organization called Ignite Your Spark, and she's a transformation coach, and she works with plenty of women professionals and entrepreneurs alike with a single objective of helping them transform their worlds. And once they transform their worlds, they're able to transform the world around their own selves. She's on mission to work with different women. She does plenty of amazing modules, so do check out her website. And these modules are all around finding your own inner greatness, finding your own inner spark that lets you show up in this world differently. So thank you, Alpa, for being here with us today. It's such an honor to be here with you, sharing space with you, and actually facilitating this session with you.
Thank you, Meenu. It is an honor for me. Thank you for inviting me. It's always lovely to talk to you. So today, as we speak, I think many more will join us in the conversation. So I'm really looking forward to it. I really believe that the best time to coach someone is when they are young. And now I think almost 10, 12 years of my life I wasted after my school graduation.
Alpa, your voice is fading out a bit.
Okay, can you hear now?
Yes.
So after my B school graduation, I passed out of NMIMS in 2003. And I remember 10, 12 years, just, they were a blur. I didn't know what was happening because as you go out of college, and college is a pretty protected environment, even though there's competition within students, it's nothing compared to really what faces you in the outside world. So they were such a blur. And I would have saved so many years of my life had someone told me the stuff that now I'm sharing with people. If I had heard it then, it would have been so helpful. So I'm very excited always to talk to youngsters because I know that the impact of that message or the impact of that transformation is manifold.
Wow.
So I'm very excited to be here.
Beautiful. And Alpa, the topic that you picked up, and you're so passionate about it, rewriting your life stories. I think it also kind of stems from that philosophy that earlier we understand these stories and earlier we kind of work on these stories, it gives us that opportunity to decide what should the story of our life be and how can we design it, which is, it's aligned to the purpose, it's aligned to the gifts that we have. And I'm so glad that we're going to talk about it today, Alpa. So here is what I am interested in knowing. So I've been hearing you speak about stories for so long now. So what are these personal stories? What's the concept of these stories all about? And if you could throw some light around this concept, please.
Sure, I'll do that. Before that, I just want to check with all the participants here. Are you all there, awake, asleep? Where are you all? So, if you're excited to learn about how to understand your stories and rewrite your stories, put in a yes in the chat box on Zoom so I know you guys are excited, or put in the comments. So, let us know. This is going to be an interactive session, okay? And I'm going to make it as interesting for you as possible. Not interested in giving Gyan at all? Okay, that's a lot of yeses. Amazing. Okay. So, what are stories? Meenu, amazing question. So, stories are basically the beliefs, narratives that you hold in your mind, which you attach to people, places, or situations. For example, we all there's an outer world, right? So there are people, we have college, we have classes. It's an outer world. You can touch it, you can feel it. Things are happening. Today the lecturer didn't come in on time. Your girlfriend dumped you. Your boyfriend, found somebody else. Classes didn't happen. You just missed the scholarship by a little. So the same situation happened. Someone left you, right? One story could be, I'm so useless, I'm not worthy. And the other could be, it's okay, they've moved on, there are other fish in the sea. So the event which happened is the same, but the story you attached to it was completely different. Now the story you attach to it will lead to the decision you make. Either you will mope and your confidence will be hit and you will really think you'll go into a negative loop, or you'll say, come on, it's okay, they've gone, let's move on and do other things in life. So if you see, the decision you make is so dependent on the story you have told yourself. And that is story. Now, let me ask you one thing. How many of you feel as if you're on stage? You feel as if someone is watching you all the time. I want you to put stage in the comments. If you feel as if, very often you feel as if, you're conscious that someone's watching you. Anyone here feels like they're on stage all the time? I used to feel like that for such a long time. Stage. Okay, Rajiv, you're the first. Amazing. Anybody else feels like they're on stage? Someone's watching them, watching their every move. How are you reacting? Whether you're smiling or not? Yeah? Ruchita, Neha, amazing. Yes, constant pressure. Yes. So beautiful. So aware you guys are. And now that I made you think about it, you thought about it, right? So we think we are on stage. And therefore, do you think you are the actor of your life? Yes? Are you the actor? Because you're on stage, do you feel like an actor? Yes? Yes, absolutely. Now, when you are acting on stage, when you have so much pressure, do you think you will actually be able to write your story? You think that's somebody else's job and you are just the actor. That's what we all think. Life is happening to us and we are acting in a play. And trust me, because you are youth, this happens. There's so much consciousness about how you look, how people perceive you. There's this whole mating scene going on, finding a partner, you have to look your best. In that, you forget that you are not the actor of your story, you are the writer and the director of your story. And which is why the question that Meenu asked is so important. What are these stories? These stories are the beliefs you have been telling yourself without being aware of it. So you're not even aware of all the stories you are telling yourself. And this whole play that you are enacting out, you have written it. Nobody else has written it for you. You are the one who has written it. How? I'll tell you. But let this be with you that you are not the actor of your life.
You are the writer and director of your life. And the earlier you learn this lesson, the more you're going to bless the people who told you that. So remember that. Meenu, do you think that answers the question, or shall we?
Absolutely. And in fact, this is such a powerful statement that you are not the actor, but you are actually the director. You're actually the writer. So, which means it's so empowering that when you are the writer, when you have the pen in your hand, you can potentially write anything that you like. It's like every day is a blank slate. You can just write what you want to write. So that's so beautiful.
There's an amazing quote by Carl Jung. Okay, so Carl Jung is one of the father of philosophy, or whatever, psychology, as you say. So he said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you will call it fate. I'm going to repeat that. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and you will call it fate. Now, what he was talking about is exactly this. Until you become aware of these stories and these narratives you are holding, you're going to just say, oh, this is just destiny, and always this happens to me. People always betray me. People are always mean to me. They always misunderstand me because you are not conscious of your own patterns, and that's why you blame other people and call it fate. But there's a process and a way to make this unconscious conscious.
Beautiful. So, Alpa, what are these stories all about? Like, how do we identify these stories? If you could, take us through some examples, please.
Sure. So, like one example I took you through, someone, your partner dumped you, or, moved on, and the stories you told yourself, oh, I'm so worthless, I'm having lots of ice cream and junk food, and I'm feeling better about myself, listening to sad songs and going on a rebound relationship, etc., etc. Or you can say, come on, let me look at it. Why didn't this work out? Did I not communicate my expectations clearly? Did I not set my boundaries right? Did I not have good enough standards in this relationship? Let me think about it. What is it about me that led to this? And how can I change it so that I'm more prepared to receive someone in my life who matches me? Now, let's do a quick exercise. I want to just give you an idea of how pervasive your stories are in your life. Are you all ready for an exercise? Do you have a notebook and a pen with you? So only put a yes if you have a notebook and a pen and you are ready for the exercise. Okay? Okay, amazing. Okay, awesome, guys. So I want you to take your notebook and pen and open to a fresh page and write two words. I am. Okay? Now, after you write I am, I want you to write 50, 60 descriptions of yourself. So, I am a woman. I am fair. Uh, I am intelligent. I am always. I'm pro justice. I am a believer of God. I am a daughter. Uh, I'm a son. There are many men here too. So I am, and write, just continue writing. I'm a good boyfriend, I'm a good girlfriend, I'm a good student. Uh, Whatever comes to your mind as an extension of I am, just write it down. Did you understand that? Anybody has any questions they can ask in the chat box? Just keep on writing I am. Don't think too much. Don't overthink it. Just write. No one's going to check your paper. There's no assessment on the sheet. So just go ahead and write. I am so and so. I am so and so. I am so and so. Like I would write, I'm a coach. I'm a great listener. I'm empathetic. I'm intuitive. I am a lover of compassion. I love helping people. Just go on. I am. I'm going to give you a few minutes. Just write as many as you can. Once you are done, then you can write done in the comments. Done, Neha, okay. And you can, okay, done. I'll wait for a few more before I go on. And be honest with yourself. Even there's bad things, you can write it. No one's going to check it. Okay? So it's fine. Does anybody need more time? Then you can just say need more time. Some of you are fast writers here, I see. Samad, Sachin, Harshad, Sumit, Lalit, Anjali, Neha, all done. Okay. I love how you all are following instructions, like so engaged and so proper. Amazing. Okay, anyone needs more time? Then you can put that in the comments. Anyone needs more time? Okay. So now what I want you to do is take that same pen and all the factual I ams you have written. For example, I am a woman, or I am a student, I am a daughter. No, factual. Like I just cut those out, which are factual. Now, I am intelligent is not factual. Okay, that's not factual. It may be true, but it's not factual. What is factual is in like you can touch, feel it. Your marks don't indicate intelligence right now. Nothing. Only I am factual. All the factual ones, which everybody in the universe will have the same opinion on, that okay, you are a woman, we get it, fine, okay. You're a student because you have a student I card, so cut that. Yeah. And let me know once you have cut the factual ones only. If you have any questions again, is this factual or not? You can ask in the comments. Yeah. You know, when you were a small girl, someone told you, please never do maths, you know, or someone told a boy, you should never cry. And these things just stay with us and we don't question it. Is that really true? Like, am I really not good at maths? You just take it to be true. Yeah. So just cut out all the factual I ams. Are you all done? Tell me now, don't write done, write cut, CUT. Because now I'll get confused, no, which done you are. Okay, cut. Neha. Neha is always the first one. Huh? Good, Neha. Amazing. Good. So you all are cut. Now, what you are left with are all your stories. Every single thing on that page which is left are all stories you are telling yourself. And some of them serve you. Some of them are good for you and they are serving you well in your life. But a lot of them on that page are also not serving you. And those are the ones you need to cut off from your life. This is just a small exercise which tells you just how pervasive your stories are and how much impact they have on your life. If you want a more detailed version, I have an amazing 4 questions which you can ask yourself to identify your stories. And Meenu will tell you a little bit more about how to get that gift towards the end of this workshop. It's a special gift for all of you. And that's also a brilliant deep dive into understanding your stories. Yeah. So Meenu will be sharing that with you all towards the end. But how did you all find this exercise? Tell me, put it in the comments. How was it for you? What did you experience? Questions, observations? Insightful. Okay, that's amazing. Introspective. Nice. Exploring. I like the vocabulary here. Amazing. Self-analysis. So be very careful. This is one tip I'm leaving you with, which is a tip worth its weight in gold. You know, if you take back anything from this webinar, take this back. Be very careful about what you put after I am. Because whatever you put after I am becomes you. So be careful before you write that. Think, do I really want to put this? You know, the talk you have with yourself. Oh, I'm such a dumbo. I'm so stupid. Why didn't I remember all this you put after I am? think a little bit before you put it after I am, because what you put after I am becomes it. Okay? Yes, Meenu.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, Alpa, while you were doing this exercise, and I was also reflecting on my I am statement there. So there are a lot of things which we believe are true or believe are facts, right? So I am a girl, so I can only do this, or I am a guy, I can only do this. But we do not acknowledge those beliefs. We do not acknowledge what has been told to us. So how can one get there? So while this exercise was one way to go there, but many a times we even refuse to write it down because it's so scary to acknowledge something which is not comforting, which is self-limiting. So any tips out there in terms of how do we acknowledge, how do we write this down?
Yeah, beautiful question, Meenu. So there is one thing which is not one, there are two things which are required before you can do any kind of self work. Now, guys, I understand the place you all are in. Meenu and me have both been there. When you're a student, you are pretty much going with the flow, and you're in the competition, you're in the groove of getting the best placement, getting the best assignment, getting the most exposure, etc., etc. It's only usually after you are 5 years into your work life that you will really understand the importance of self awareness and understanding yourself. Till that time, it's just one big wave, it just takes you over and you go with the flow. But at some point, at different points of time in your life is going to hit you. It will hit you in different ways: relationship, career, uh, personal life, health, finances, different areas of life. It could show up, and that shows up because of a lack of self awareness, a lack of authenticity in your life, and accepting, like Meenu said, accepting that yes, this is happening. So the two things that you need, which will be your friends throughout your life, for any kind of work you need to do. Today there are so many coaches, right? And people can easily change their lives if they wish to, but not everybody can because they don't have these two things. What are those two things? One, self-love. Until you love yourself enough, you are never going to do the work needed to develop yourself. So you have to love yourself in order to do this work. You have to find that your life is important enough to do this. Many of us are raised in such scenarios, where maybe we had parents who were busy, who didn't have time for us. And the belief we took back was, is I'm not loved, I'm not good enough, and what does my life even matter? So self-love is very, very important to do anything else. Otherwise, why would you do anything? Why would you bother getting out of a situation if you didn't love yourself and your life enough? The second is the willpower. This work is not easy. Trust me, I work with, like, you all are still students. I work with people who are like 40, 50, 60. It's not easy to do this work. It's very scary to face your demons, to accept that you messed up, you did something wrong. It's very tough. But that willpower which you have, it says, you know what, I'm going to get through this, that resilience, that willpower, that it's okay if it's tough, we're still going to do it. So these two are going to be your friends to do this work. And not only in self-work, in anything, any project you have to do in your college, in your company, in your summers, wherever you have to get an achievement in any form. Self love, loving yourself enough to give your best, and the willpower, the willingness to do whatever it takes to get what you want. These two are your friends in your life in all areas, whether it's relationships, health, everything takes that willpower and self love. Why should you eat healthy? Why should you walk every day? Why should you give your best? Why should you not take a shortcut and copy paste a project and put it? Why? Because you love yourself enough. That's why.
Beautiful. So, so just curious that how do I know if my story is enhancing me, or is it like dimming my sparkle? Are there any matrices to kind of measure that?
Yeah. So again, that's a great question. So if you're waking up in the morning energized for a great day, if you are feeling productive for 70-80% of your day, and you are being able to complete your tasks and have this feeling of lightness, and that spring in your step, most of the day your stories are working for you. But if you find yourself waking up with a drag that, oh God, another day, how am I going to get through this? You are getting angry with people, you have a temper, you're dropping your cool at the drop of a hat, you're spending a lot of your day complaining about others, bitching about others, gossiping about others, complaining about the government and the college and the institution and the system and Donald Trump and Narendra Modi and all these people and other things, your stories are not working for you and you need to look at them. So if you're able to go through your day well, 70-80% of the time with a feeling of positivity and optimism, your stories serve you. Otherwise, they don't
Wow.
serve.
Wow. And that was so simple.
Yep, that's it.
Absolutely. So I want to take a pause here because we've discussed a lot. We've discussed some techniques, we've discussed some ways to identifying the limiting stories or the stories which are enhancing us. I want to take a pause here and ask all of you here to kind of reflect on whatever we've discussed and actually ask us. So you can unmute yourself and ask us questions that what came up for you in this first half an hour of the session. What actually emerged for you? What would you like to share with us? We are listening. So if your camera is shy, you can switch off your camera, but you can talk to us. We would love to hear your voice.
Oh, they are unable to unmute. Meenu.
Oh, okay. Devesh, can you help?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi,
Hello,
Sakshi.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
So in the first half, I liked ma'am told us ki make self-love and willpower your friend. I like that concept a lot, actually.
Beautiful.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, dear. Do you have a question?
No, ma'am. Just wanted to tell you that
Okay,
I like that concept a lot.
thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anybody have a
Ma'am,
question? Yes.
hello,
Alka.
hello.
Alka, would you like to go first? Sachin, just
Yes,
give us a moment. Yes.
yes, ma'am. What Alpha ma'am said, the activity that she told us, that what we are, I am that activity. Sometimes, as a as a person and as a woman, we are so much engaged into other things that we sometimes forget that what we really are. Sometimes you are totally lost at words, and through that activity, I saw that I was only able to write 10 or 20, 15 points for me. I was not getting more points. I had to think about that, and that shows that sometimes you forget about loving yourself. So that shows that self love is more important than anything else. And thank you, ma'am, for that activity.
Alka, you are most welcome. If I had asked you to write qualities about your best friend, you may have come up with more qualities.
Yes, ma'am, it happens.
Because we think so much about others that we just don't think enough about ourselves. That's a good one. Rajvi, I saw you raised your hand. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. So as you said that we are the writers of our own lives. I really like that concept. So I had a query, not exactly a query. So the thing is that at times I have my own opinions and thinkings that are different from the whole community. And I'm standing for myself that okay, I'm different, and I think that I'm right. But after listening to their choices or their thinkings, you do get influenced and you tend to change that opinion about yourself. So what should we do in that case?
So, this is exactly why I love talking to the youth, because I know that the youth are the ones who face the maximum amount of opinions of others. You want to follow your heart, and your parents are saying, "Chalo bhi isme thodi na koi paisa milega. Come on, do the MBA, do the CA, do this, do that." But your own heart, you're not at all encouraged to listen to. So I know that it's very difficult to balance out all those expectations. So here is a fine balance, Rajvi. If you are only doing what your heart says, sometimes you may ignore some things which your parents are telling you from their experience. Now, again, depends on the parents, because all parents also, their experiences are different, and their style of raising is also different.
Can you, Soumya, can you unmute? Can you mute yourself? Yes. Thank you.
So Rajvi, even the parenting style is different. Some parents say, ja jile apni zindagi, do whatever you want, but just be good at it. Some people say, listen, our situation is not very good. You are the one who has to break through the orbit and really ensure the money comes home. So there's a mix of too many factors here. So I can't give you a clear-cut answer. But the one thing I can tell you is always go by your heart and your strengths. So, there are so many assessments available. There's a Strengths Finder tool by Gallup, which is available, which you can. Nah, just one. So, okay, where was I?
You were speaking about the assessment tools which are available.
There are many assessment tools, like Gallup Strengths Finder is there. There are so many others which are there which give you your strengths. So many testing tools are there. More than the strengths which come out of that, also go by what you love doing. And I was in the corporate world for many years, and so was Meenu. We were in that 9 to 5 race, and going to the top of the ladder, and it can get very mucky also. Doing something which you enjoy doing in your generation is very, very, very important. So you really need to ensure that whatever you are doing, you are really enjoying it and it is in line with your strengths. So whatever, and honestly, you guys will at least have 2 or 3 careers in your lifetime. You're not going to have only one career from beginning to end. So take risks, be open. If you want to change a career, do that. Definitely the kind of lifespan. Now people are working well into their 70s, 80s. Today, the kind of jobs that are there did not exist when your parents were small. So the kind of jobs, like say a data scientist or a data analyst, was all not there before. Now we actually have video editors, which is like a huge, it's a huge market. There are copywriters, there's copy coaching, there's funnel creation. Now these jobs never existed before, but they're all there now. So go in line with your strengths is what I would recommend, Rajvi, but take people along with you. So when you're doing what you want, there's no need to rebel and do it. Make people understand, especially your parents. You don't need to explain to the whole world, but just your parents, take them along. Tell them, I love doing this. I'm good at it. Will you support me? And take them along with you. Yeah.
Totally agree with you. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Sachin has a question that he's been meaning to ask for a long time. Yes, Sachin.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, you said that life is a story, and we are the writer of that story. But there are some hard chapter in this story. So, how to tackle those hard moments?
Yeah, there are hard chapters. That's where your willpower comes in. Imagine a story where there was no villain only. One boy meets a girl and they live happily ever after in paradise. Would you go to see that movie in the theater? You're not going to.
No.
Life is not like that. Life is up and down. That graph you see, no, up and down, that's how you know life is there. If it is a straight line, there is no life. So you have to accept now that life is going to be a full human experience. When we were born as humans, we were not given a manual saying you're going to experience only happiness and all sorrow has to be avoided at all costs. Everything is making a story for you. Yeah, so the tough chapters are the ones which are there to make you strong. And the happy chapters are for you to appreciate what you have in this life. But they both are complementary. They are incomplete without each other. Because if you did not see sorrow, you would not value your happiness. And it is because of your happiness that you understand that you need to come out of sorrow. So it's all a part of life. Never try to ignore or avoid hard chapters. They really make you what you are. And I know that. I have personally gone through really horrible chapters in my life. And they have all led me to a place which has been better. So I am of a strong believer that life happens for you and not to you. So what you think is a bad chapter or a tough chapter is actually a boot camp. It is preparing you for your life. Like an army has a boot camp, you prepare that before you go into battle. That's what your tough chapters are. So don't ignore them, experience them. Come out of it, but live through them with pride because they make you who you are. Yeah?
And
Thank you.
sometimes these chapters, I think, also allow you to step back and pick up a pen again and say, okay, what am I going to write next? What is the situation actually telling me? And what needs to really change? Can I change the story from here on? So I think it's quite empowering to have some of those hard chapters as well. And we all have those, it's the way of life.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Awesome.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Sachin, for asking that question. Lalit?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Ma'am, I have a question about the affirmation. I have listened a lot about affirmation. Does it work for improve my confidence and this kind of thing?
Yeah, so affirmations, I do believe they work, but only affirmations don't work. Affirmations don't work unless you work. So you can write all the affirmations you want, but when it actually comes to taking a decision, are you able to take that decision differently from that space of power? That will determine whether affirmations work or not. Also, the other part about affirmations is understanding your own shadows. It's like you can say, okay, I want $1 million, I want $1 million, I want $1 million, I want $1 million. But when that opportunity comes to you, do you have the courage to leap out at that opportunity and say, I'm going to do this? Even though I'm not being paid right now, I know this is a big opportunity. I'm going to do it. Or I'm getting paid a little bit less in this startup, but my heart tells me this is just right. I'm going to do that. So affirmations will work, but you should also have the courage to follow the intuition when it knocks on your door. So that's my
Okay, ma'am.
answer.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I think
Lalit.
we have Sneha and Monica.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Alpa ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank you. You really have such a motivating aura. And thank you for the IM exercise, especially because it was really an exploratory one. Ma'am, I have two questions to you. The first one is related to the exercise. That what do you suggest based on the changing roles and the environment? How frequently we should visit back the IM exercise? Because definitely the changing environment, as Meenu ma'am just mentioned, that we have to go back and write it. So, how frequently would you suggest on that? And the second one is, as you just mentioned that they're in the corporate world since long time. So even now we see that for the ratio of 90-10, like if you're on the board with the managerial, leads and the conference or meeting, you still like on your face, no one will say that, but on your back, definitely your work will be diminished. So how to deal with such things and how do you go forward presenting our outcomes?
Beautiful. So
Thank
great
you, ma'am.
questions. IM exercise you can do once a year, I think, nothing more than that. Sometimes we get very addicted to self-work and we forget to actually work. So once a year is good. About the other things, see, like I was telling Lalit also that, no, somebody, Sachin asked, I think, about the difficult chapters. It's the fact that where there are people, there is going to be politics. So if you are going to go into an organization, if you even see your own family, you will see there is politics in your family also. So there is no escaping politics. Where there are human beings who come together, there are going to be politics. If you see any kitty parties, if you see even 6, 7 standard students, you will see there is politics everywhere. So you got to make friends with politics. You can't say, oh, I want to live in a lovely bubble where nobody is political and everybody is nice and kind-hearted. Doesn't work. And I was in that bubble for a long time. When I joined work, I said, everybody will be nice people only. Why will anybody be bad? I'm doing my best work. People will also appreciate, and I will live in La La Land forever. Sorry, doesn't happen. Got a rude shock. Politics is everywhere. So you have to become more aware, not live in la la land, but see things as they are. And the more aware you are of yourself, the better you will able to see things. You have to learn to read the room. You know, so you go to a GD, you see, okay, who's the strong guy, who's not, who's a weak speaker, who's whose arguments are very strong. You read the room. The same thing applies at work. You have to read the room, read who's on your side, who's not, who has ideas, who's not. And when you are presenting, include that in your presentation. I learned afterwards, before you make a presentation, if it's very important, have informal channels of communication. Go and talk to them in advance and say, you know what, I'm planning to present this is my idea. Do you have any feedback? And in that feedback, they'll tell you whether they are with you or against you. And if you take into account their feedback, they'll only support you in the meeting. They'll say, yeah, very good idea, because they've only given it. No? So these are the ways you have to work around situations. You can't live in la la land. As you are getting more responsibility, more power, you have to take people with you. And it is this skill of taking people with you and building relationships which will take you very far in your career. So that's a skill you have to learn, Sneha.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really insightful.
Most welcome.
So Alpa, should we take one more question and then...
One more question. I think Monica had her hand since a long time, and then we can go back to the other questions.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. I just wanted to ask that you have talked about self-love, right? Then if there is, what I think is, if there is self-doubt about yourself, then how can you love yourself, right? So my question is like, if I don't want to marry, I don't want to have children, I don't have to, like my purpose is different from another woman out there, right? So how can, and society is always there to judge you. Like if they will say that you are selfish and such things. So how can convince this thing to ourselves, also to our family at least, and that my purpose in life is different. I'm different.
Yeah, so there's no need to convince anybody except yourself. If people tell you you're selfish, you just smile and say, yes, I am. I'm like that only. That's it. There's no need to convince anybody else, as long as you're able to convince yourself. See, what happens is we have this issue, I'm such a good girl, I'm such a conforming person. And then when you, at heart, you are actually not like that. You're actually different. A different tune is calling out to you. You are not obliged to explain to anybody your choices, as long as you have the courage to walk on your path. See, nobody can stop you from walking on your path. But if you're going to be disturbed by every dog that barks on the way, you're never going to be able to walk on your path. So cultivate within yourself the power to walk on your path. And everybody's path is different. It is not necessary that other people understand your path. That's not important. As long as you understand your path, it's enough. You know, one of the things I really live by is, ए मनुष्य खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा खुद बंदे से पूछे कि बता तेरी रजा क्या है. Make yourself so strong. It does not matter what other people think. Right now, they will say something about you, but as you go ahead, they will support you. Oh, Monica, you were so right. You know, when I started all the spirituality work, thank you guys for all the appreciation. I got interested in spirituality at 18, and people used to laugh at me. Arey, what, you know, your friends are partying and you are sitting here and meditating and all that. What is all this like? It's so uncool. But when I became a coach at a young age, when I became a spiritual teacher by the age of 24, my path was to make a difference to people. Today, that same family comes to me for coaching. They're like, come on, Alpa, I love the work you're doing. We're so proud of the work I'm doing. But for the 10, 12 years in the middle, nobody was there to tell me, yes, Alpa, go. I only had to tell myself that my path is right. So have that power to follow your own path. There's no need to explain to anybody else. Then smile. No need to rebel also. Just smile and keep walking. That's the one line.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Smile and keep walking.
Yeah. That quote is so inspiring, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Lovely. I'm so glad that these questions have come in, and all of this is actually taking me back to the days when I was struggling with these questions. And, a lot of this wisdom, so let me call it wisdom. So a lot of this actually came to me in my 30s. And sometimes, I keep thinking that had it come to me when I was in my early 20s, like a lot of you here, things would have actually taken a different course altogether. So I'm so glad that you guys have the courage to ask such powerful questions. Yeah, so well done. Okay, so moving on. So Alpha, we've identified the patterns, we've identified the stories, we've identified that we are a story making machine, and we're constantly generating stories. Every minute we are telling ourselves something, which could either enhance our lives, or it could demean or diminish the sparkle that we have within us. How do we change these stories? Is there a way, is there a machine that you put your story in it, and it kind of totally reforms it and transforms it?
That again is a great question. And I always believe in be pulled by your vision and don't be pushed by your fears. When we try to lead with our fears, that, oh, I have this fear, let me remove this fear. Oh, I have this fear, let me remove this fear. But that fear, whatever you resist will persist. That fear will keep on having a stronger grip on you. But when you are able to find a vision for yourself, which you connect with, which aligns with you, it will pull you towards itself. And that force, that vision will give you, will really make the grip of the fears very loose and let you go ahead. So your strength lies in your vision. Yeah. So what I'm going to do again quickly is to do a small exercise with you. 3 questions. It's called a very beautiful exercise. It's by Martin Brule. So I'll tell you what it's called at the end. Okay. So 3 questions I'm going to ask you, and I want you to write, close your eyes as you do this exercise. So I'll ask you 3 questions. Just keep your eyes closed for 5 minutes. That's it, nothing more. Keep your eyes closed for 5 minutes, and then I'll give you time to write down your answers. Okay? Are you all ready for the 3 questions? Tell me ready in the comments if you're ready. This is the last bit of the thing, and it's a very beautiful exercise. So close your eyes and give it your best. Okay? Don't wing it. Give it your best. Okay? Okay. So let's close our eyes, everyone. Take a couple of deep breaths. And as you take a couple of deep breaths and connect with yourself, give yourself permission to be who you truly are. And now I want you to recall a time when you experienced heaven on earth. Recall a time that you experienced heaven on earth. Second question. Imagine that you have a magic wand, and with this magic wand, you can have heaven on earth. What is heaven on earth for you? Be bold with your vision. Allow yourself to think. If you could have whatever you wanted, what would you want as your heaven on earth? The third question. What are the concrete, simple, and easy steps that you can take in the next 24 hours to make this heaven on earth come true for you? Not completely, completely, but a little bit, how simple, easy, and concrete steps you can take to come a little closer to what is heaven on earth for you. Could be something small, call someone, enroll into something, make a booking, anything. And whenever you are done, you can open your eyes and write down your answers. What is heaven on earth for you? If you had a magic wand, what would heaven on earth look like? And what are the 3 simple, easy, concrete steps you can take to make heaven on earth true for you? And the first question was, recall a time when you experienced heaven on earth. So this is the exercise called Heaven on Earth by Martin Roullet. So go ahead, write your answers and let me know when you're done. And as you start writing, you can also share how was it for you. Okay? How was the experience? What did you see? Put it in the chat box. What are the steps you're going to take? So I want to hear what are the steps you're going to take. 3 concrete, easy, simple steps. Put that in the chat box.
So do put it in the chat box, these 3 concrete steps. Because, it's like when you write something down and when you declare it to the world, you're actually affirming those things. You're actually affirming the fact that you are committed towards achieving them. And it's your life journey, guys. So if you are committing, you would make sure that you do it. So please do put it down. We would love to hear what is it that you've written down as your concrete steps for next 24 hours. So Lalit has put his 3 steps down.
These are a little bit vague. So keep my vision clear in my mind. It's not a concrete step. How will you make it clear? Are you going to make a vision board so that it is actual for you? Are you going to write it down somewhere? See, in our mind, a lot of things are there. It's not a concrete step. And what is hard work? Again, hard work is not concrete. In 24 hours, how will you do hard work? So you say, okay, I'm going to do 2 hours every day on this vision. That is a concrete step. Yeah. So ensure they're concrete. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It just remains a nice, airy, fairy, fluffy thing, but it doesn't translate.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thanks, Lalit, for putting it down. So, in the interest of time, here is a suggestion that please do write this down. Sushil, brilliant again. And absolutely, kudos to both of you for writing this down. So do write this down in your paper, on your papers, and keep revisiting these concrete steps for you every day, because what you write out there is actually going to determine how your story is going to look like in so many years ahead. So, Alpa has also kindly agreed to share with all of you a beautiful gift. And this is actually her live workshop that she does for, women and men around the world on how do you identify stories and how do you rewrite those stories. And this is a recorded workshop. So I am going to put the link. Devesh, may I just request you to, insert the link here? So please, copy this link and please go through this link, go onto her website, download this particular module. There are 5 modules, right, Alpa?
Yeah, there are 5.
Yeah. There are 5 modules.
To sign up here, once you sign up, it will take you to the register page. So you need to register on that website. It's learn.ignitethespark.in. You register there and you get access to the workshop then.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a beautiful thing to do if you actually spend some time with it, because what you do as part of this workshop is actually it's going to set the tone for so many years ahead. So you can choose to spend time with it now and actually change the stories that you're going to tell yourself in all the roles that you're going to play in future. So guys, all the best with it. And with that, Alpa, thank you so much. Thank you so much for those lovely exercises, for that wisdom, for the guidance, for being able to show compassion towards some of the lovely questions that all the participants put in. And of course, I can't thank you enough for being here with us and actually sharing your gift with everybody, and this amazing module that you've designed.
It is an absolute honor, Minu. I can never say no to you, and I know that, and you can never say no to me. So I am very, very, very excited to be here. Yes, this gift is very special for all of you who are interested in deep diving into yourself and honestly preparing yourself for success and for sustained success. See, a lot of you may achieve success, but you may not be able to keep it. Something will derail you. So if you really want sustained success, this work you should do. So it's a beautiful gift, and I'm so happy to share it with you all. Please do that. It's a gift and an honor for me to be there with you all. It was so amazing talking to you. Just didn't realize how an hour passed by. Very happy to be here. So thank you so much. Do download it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'm sure I can come back and look at them, or we can do a Q&A, Minu, or if we have a compiled questions, we can do a Q&A also.
Absolutely. So guys, in case you have any questions, you could actually send us your questions. I'm just putting one email ID. It's yugma@vansskilling.co.in.
So what you can also share is probably, okay, that thing is not outlined. I think Simple has a question. Do we want to answer
Yes,
that?
please. Yeah.
Have a question?
Yeah. Hi, Alpa, and hi, Minu. I think so. It's hearing you is very inspiring. I was actually very keen on understanding from you, Alpa. If you could very briefly tell us your story behind your Ignite the Spark.
I actually just started with that. Good. So good you asked. I'll share with you.
Yeah.
So I finished my MBA from NMIMS. I joined HR, and I was working with Titan, then with Godrej. So Minu and me were in fact in Godrej together. And both of us love doing developmental work. I love doing developmental work. I didn't like regular HR. So very quickly I moved into that. And then I had my kids and I decided to take a break for a little while. Now, when I had to go back to work, I didn't feel like going back to this politics, which I was telling you all about. As I'm not having fun, I had reached high enough to understand that iske aage is all muck only. So then I took a break and I was just thinking about what to do. And then coaching found me, and I was personally in a bad space because I was not used to not working and being home. It was just not suiting me at all. So I reached out to somebody and said, listen, I need you to coach me. Something's not working for me. And she said, listen, I love you. Just do this coaching certification program. So I just did it. And it changed my life. It just changed the way I felt about my life. It gave me a new perspective. It started moving things. That wheel which was going in negative, it started turning backwards a little bit. And then I realized, and even after I did my certification, I could not really tell anybody I'm a coach because I felt I had too much stuff to deal with. And like I told you, all of us have tough chapters, right? It's a part of life. And then that spark ignited in me, which said, enough. I'm going to write my story. I'm not going to give in to this societal conditioning or what people expect of me, what my boss would expect of me. I want to create my path. And then I started doing the work. I started doing coaching, mentoring, getting a coach for myself, Mind Valley programs, really working on my beliefs, my inner structure, my mindset, and prepared myself. And as I ignited my spark, as I changed my inside world, the stories I told myself, the outside world started changing. So we think we have to change outside world. We blame people. Once my boss changes, when my boyfriend changes, when my teacher changes, it doesn't work like that. You do change inside. So I realized that when I ignited my spark, and Ignite the Spark just came to me because I realized I love fire and the fact that it goes up and it burns all the impurities. And then Ignite the Spark was born. It started with coaching. It went on to a workshop called Ignite Your Spark. It went on to many other workshops and programs, taking many women and men along and helping them ignite their spark. Because once the inner spark is ignited, you become like the sun. Your light is so bright, it lights up the world. And that is my vision with Ignite the Spark. So thank you for asking that question.
Yeah, that is. I would say I wanted to also tell you that this Ignite the Spark, this name itself is so powerful. I love this name actually.
Thank
Very
you.
nice. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Thank you, Simple, for asking.
Okay, so thank you so much, guys. You've been such a sport, and you've asked some amazing questions, and I'm amazed that there's such a diversity in the questions, and you guys are reflecting, you guys are asking. That means you are wanting to also change your life story somewhere. So all the best with this. Alpa, thank you so much once again. And I look forward to meeting you all tomorrow once again when we meet another powerful woman all together with her, life story as well. So thank you and see you all tomorrow. Good night.